I want to win the Champions League with Dinamo Zagreb, but we won't do it without winning the Croatian league first. Last season, we finished second in the league, level on points with Osijek, but we won the Croatian Cup, which allows us to partake in the Europa League qualifiers. So the goal for this episode is simple: win the league and get our first deep European run with Dinamo. For that, I want to continue signing the younger talented players. So I decided to let go Victor Freitas, Basil Perzon, Etienne Hulshov or Roberto Silva. In their place, I made Jonut Forna a permanent player and bought Christian Tadic from Celta Vigo for 4.2 million and Carlos Ocampo from Colombia for less than a million, because our left back, Salguero, got injured for half a year. I also brought in Johan Rodriguez in case Vanja Ivekovic would go to the big leagues, which he did, heading to Ajax for 25 million. I also added Baldo Pezo from Šibenik for 3.4 million, Nebojša Stefanovic from Radnički Niš for 2.8 million, or Denis Kolic from St. Gallen for just over 12 million, which means I broke the bank in this transfer window again. With those signings, I am confident about our chances of clinching the league title, but it won't be possible without a strong start to the season. And I don't think there can be a better start than a Super Cup against Osijek. The Super Cup, which thanks to Jonut Forna's lone goal, we won 1-0 and lifted the first trophy of the season. In the league, we've also taken an early lead after the first 9 games and started building a gap over Hajduk Split, which we built up to 4 points after our 2-0 win in the first Eternal Derby. But what about Europe? With 3 days to go until our first match, we still didn't know who we would be playing in the first round. Turns out, it's Omonia from Cyprus. Against them, we got 2 quite comfortable wins, with Vanja Ivekovic scoring a brace in both games. He only left in August for clarification. Then, it was Djurgården from Sweden, and this tie was much more dramatic. We did not start well away from home, despite the advantage. It was Djurgården who scored the only goal in the first leg. However, on our ground, we showed we can fight. Antonio Vidovic got the pass from Ivekovic and equalized the aggregate. We then left a lot of space for Darkwa from Djurgården, and you know it, he scored. Which meant we were still losing, but we found hope. 69 nice minutes in, Jonut Forna got to score a volley from a corner, and it meant extra time. In it, unfortunately, the Swedes found an equalizer, which gave them an aggregate win. Following that loss, we dropped down to the Conference League, where AC Oulu awaited a 0-0 snooze fest at home, against a team from Finland. I've been told we cannot score because a goal is magically locked, and only subscribing to this channel will unlock it. Thank you, and I think it worked. We've scored 5 goals to progress to the final qualifying round. The reward? A bit harder opponent, Feyenoord. We've already beaten them when we were in charge of Ruch Chorzów or Ferencváros. Can we do it for the 3rd time? Ademar, the Brazilian, with a cross. Tadic! He wins possession now, the Bosniak. Rodriguez finds Jukic, he enters the area, fantastic strike into the near post with left foot. Arikawa makes a cross from a free kick, Sanchez finds a header and makes it 1-2, it's not looking good, and unfortunately it's Feyenoord's highlight, but Vidovic wins it back, he's on the right side of the pitch, makes a pass to Kolic. Kolic may have won us the aggregate. For yet another time, we caused the huge upset against Feyenoord in this save. And we will be rewarded not only with a league stage, but also a huge chance to qualify to the knockouts. And also meet 2 of our former teams, Budućnost Podgorica and Ferencváros. Against the former, we won 5-2, and against the latter, 1-0. We also added wins against Mura from Slovenia, Valur Reykjavik and Balkani from Kosovo. The only loss we suffered was a 1-0 against Aarhus. We qualified directly to the round of 16 from the 2nd place, only behind Leeds United. Our first opponents in the knockouts will be AZ Alkmaar, but we'll look at the knockouts later on. In the league, we also were in fantastic form, minus yet another loss to Šibenik. The Eternal Derby was pretty much Hajduk's game, but we still found a way to fight back twice and get that all-important draw. Both the Zagreb Derby and the game versus Osijek were dominant 3-0 wins. We established ourselves as firm leaders of the league before the winter, 10 points ahead of Lokomotiva. Then, something we knew was coming came. Teams from all over Europe also realized we're doing great and started to beg us for our players. Seriously, I was flooded with clubs joining the chase for Peter Czerny, and the only offer I accepted is that of over 22 million from Lyon on the deadline day. I also let go Vitali Palamar to Shanghai Port to assist Józef Todt for an undeniable 21 million. His replacement, for just 4 million, is Miroslav Mirchev from Lokomotiv Plovdiv. We also replaced Ademar with Usman Jara, who we bought for just 4.5 million. And on the deadline day, we also saw Mario Maric going to Salzburg for his release clause. He will be replaced by Grgica Jenic, who joined us after a not so successful stint in Lazio. This rebuild, well, it showed that some key players left us. Of course we lost to Šibenik, but other than that, we won the Zagreb derby and got 3 more wins. However, just against Rijeka and Varaždin weren't helping us. With 9 games remaining, we were 11 points ahead of Lokomotiva, so the league title is looking more and more likely. But I cannot skip over a mighty game, and possibly one of the best matches of this save as a whole, the third Eternal Derby of the season. Our start, unfortunately, was far from ideal. We were giving up plenty of space on our left side, letting Di Matteo Perdic and Emilio Vuksan score 1 goal each. With more chances for Hajduk, we thought we were going to be demolished. But during halftime, Maxim Picak blasted a shot from the close range, giving us some hope into the second half. The hope that quickly vanished, after Hajduk scored from a corner. This triggered me to sub on Antonio Vidovic, who got a chance to score a penalty 77 minutes in and converted it. We went all in to score an equalizer at that point, and it finally happened 6 minutes later. Denis Kolic scored a massive first-time shot to give us the draw. But in the stoppage time, things went even better. Maxim Picak, a 17-year-old academy graduate, gave us the derby win despite carrying an injury. Games like this are a massive indicator of the fact not only we can win the league title, but also go far in Europe. Asset Alkmaar were our opponents in the round of 16 of the Conference League, and the Polish striker Kacper Duda wanted to prove he really is an elite striker. However, he just couldn't. 2 of his goals were offside in the first half. Unfortunately, he made sure anything could go in the 16th minute, and with no response of ours, we had to overturn the deficit in Zagreb, and we got to it quite quickly. Usman Jara hit a header from the close range. In the second half, we completed our comeback. Johan Rodriguez scored a goal, also from close range. But in stoppage time, Kacper Duda found the rebound and proved he really is an elite striker. It was offside again, and we kept our result, advancing to the quarterfinal, where Ghent from Belgium is our opposition. And they scored a header late in the first half, and it was nowhere near offside. In the second, a throw-in led to Ambrosi's solo run, doubling Gent's lead. We gave ourselves some hope for a game in Zagreb though, with Antonio Vidovic finding himself the best in the box, only for Godwin Obaye to score and make things even more difficult in Croatia's capital. Despite having plenty of chances, we did not help ourselves. With a 0-0 draw, we finished our European adventure in the quarterfinal of the Conference League. But maybe that's a good thing, because it can allow us to complete our task of winning the domestic treble. We've already won the Super Cup at the start of the season, but there's also the league and the cup to win. All we have to do is to win a couple more games. First, the league. Bielovar and Šibenik were both easy 3-0 wins, and in between, we played Lokomotiva Zagreb. However, we decided just cruising to the title is a bit too easy. Despite Grgica Jenic opening up the scoring and also converting a penalty, we let in 2 deflected shots from Marco Esposito and Jaro Abrasart. This led to a situation where we could win the league title in the Eternal Derby, as long as Slaven Belupo will salvage anything against Lokomotiva Zagreb a day later. The first highlight, he takes a corner, the ball goes to Jędrzej somehow. He makes a cross to Picak, I think he was marginally offside, but Jara somehow doesn't score it. Makes a pass to Barry Aktarevic, back to the Bosniak. Bosanas finds Picak, Picak doubles the lead. We absolutely dominated our rivals, as we've put one hand on the Croatian League title. Now Lokomotiva is playing Slaven Belupo, and they lost. We've done it. After 2 years, we've done it. We won Dinamo's first league title after 3 seasons of drought. We could make this club a powerhouse of Croatian football again in the near future. After getting a guard of honor from the team of Istra, we won 5-1 against them and lifted the trophy above our heads. We finished this season with 87 points in the bag, 21 ahead of Hajduk Split in second, and after receiving our deserved trophy, we went on to try and get one more. We also added a cup run into this season and got to another Eternal Derby, this time in the semi-final. It was way more dramatic than you would have thought. Usman Jara started the party by scoring a spectacular goal. However, 40 minutes in, we gave possession away way too cheaply, and Karl Matip scored for 1-0. Hajduk then scored from a corner, but this time our response was also very quick. However, things went south with 12 minutes to go, when Daniil Mandic scored from a rebound. But we had a highlight straight through the kickoff, and Antonio Vidovic scored a tap-in. We are heading into the extra time, but in the final minute of the stoppage time, we got a corner and... we reached yet another cup final, and we've done it in the derby, away from home. That's some absolute cinema. Osijek were our opponents in the final, looking for revenge for the Super Cup loss at the start of the season. It was Lokomotiva Zagreb last year, now it's Osijek, and they start by scoring a header. Fona drives into the area, he finds Jenic, Mircea finds Kolic on the left wing, his fault. Jenic scores. Kolic, fantastic strike from outside the area, that's free. Plenty of goals to confiscate, and the league as well, that's 10 overall, also plenty of assists. Tiara in the area, that's 4. Looks like we're having a very promising start of this cup final. Pizak scored 7 goals in all competitions this season, which is something, to be fair. And that's not the number, it's actually the number 9 goal of the season. We completed a domestic treble. The Super Cup, the Croatian Cup, and the Croatian League. With this much achievement domestically, I know this team can go further than just dominating the Croatian football. We'll go against our standard in the safe, and we're going to stay in Dinamo Zagreb, because I have a bigger goal with them in mind. I want to win the UEFA Champions League with Dinamo Zagreb. I just don't know how long it will take. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I will be very grateful for that. The year in this Ultimate Glory Hunter challenge is 2047, which suggests I played Football Manager quite a lot. This made me ask a question: what could be improved in this game? I made a video about it, which is on your screen right now.